Okay, we're into the final stretch here for the COVID piece of the FAQ. And what I want to talk about here are some best practices to employ for your meets to help make them run smoothly, and to give you some logistical information that we have currently as of April 22nd, 2021 at 11:56 a.m. Okay, your pre-meeting that you normally have, go over your sportsmanship rule, but have the home coaches or the home administrator, however the school district is doing it, go over the protocols for the site. Since they're the ones that have to enforce it, let them be the ones to articulate to the other athletes and coaches what those protocols are. Make sure that you, before the meeting, have checked the markings on the track with a particular attention to the fly zone. Make sure that it is marked now that there is no fly zone, but that it is the beginning of the zone, the normal zone, the 30 meters for those relays. Go over that with the coaches and with the athletes. Think about it. For some of us, if you didn't do indoor last year in 2019, and you only do outdoor, you haven't done an outdoor meet since 2019, since June of 2019. So it's been a while. All right, walk it, get there early, have the mask on, covering nose and mouth at the same time. The moment you get in your car, the moment you leave, walk around the track, get yourself re-familiar with it. Check your bag, your travel bag. Make sure you got everything in there that you need to make this season. Make sure you have an extra mask in there. Make sure you have sunscreen and that you use the sunscreen. And make sure when you meet with the coaches and athletes, you also go over that safety rule for the triple jump, long jump, pole vault, runways. I don't think we're going to be throwing the javelin, but if they do, that runway too is inclusive of that rule. As I stated earlier video, already in indoor, that is not allowed, the backward running on the runways. So we're going to build on that. Many athletes who participate in indoor track also know that. But again, like I mentioned, no one ran indoor this year. So you have a gap there. So make sure that we refresh everybody. Encourage them to ask you questions. Encourage them to ask the home coaches questions about the protocols of the site. Okay, and make sure that they answer them so that you know what's going on. Okay, the season starts April 26th. The state has modified the number of practices athletes have to 6, and they may practice now on Sunday, so they can run these 6 days pretty quickly of practice. And in fact, there is an allowance of reducing those number of days of practice if an athlete has participated in fall 2 or the season right before this, which I think I have it correct. So what does that mean? That means meets are going to start pretty quickly in early May. Okay, so time to get ready. Dust off that old travel bag and make sure you got everything. Sectionals, we have been given, Section 2 has given permission to have sectionals. Mark and his team have worked really hard to come up with some process and protocols and how to host and how to safely and successfully do this. The only fly in the ointment is that we need school districts to volunteer to host such big meets. What I'm understanding right now is that response has been uneven at best. Okay, as we get more information, we'll pass it on to you. So until they can secure all the sites for the sectionals that they need, you may not see them on the calendar yet, but that's there. So they're waiting on that. And as soon as we know, we'll let you know. The season ends on June 16th. And for those of you who wonder why June 16th, Very simply, it has to conform with SED's rules and regulations regarding that during Regents exam weeks, that no practices or competitions can happen. Okay. Um, this year, as you may have read, some testing has been suspended. Um, Having said that, there is a requirement that the state has to administer. I think it's 4 exams altogether, and that'll take about a week, week and a half, so to speak. So that's why the June 16th is the end date, not June 25th, not June 28th, but June 16th. There is no state meet this year, as all state championships were canceled. So therefore, with no state meet, there will be no state qualifier meet. So if you haven't heard me the first few million times, must wear a mask the moment you arrive, all right, covering your nose and mouth at the same time, and you must keep it on until you get in your car and you're leaving the site, okay? And please, please, please wear sunscreen. Um, Even if it's not bright sun, save your skin, save your health, wear the sunscreen. It's cheap, preventive medicine that you all should do. You all should do. Okay, so what do we have left? The next cone, the fourth cone that you can click, the finish line, that'll be a link to a written summary of what I've done in the other cones. That way, you don't have to listen to me drone on and always click on that to whatever you want to hear again. Certainly, feel free if you want to. Um, but it may be easier for you now that you've listened to everything to have the sheet there as a reference for you. So that's what the finish line cone will have, a link to that. All right. The slide deck next is part of our 5 point training plan. And in that, that's important. There are 2 videos you can click on and, refresh your thing, how to measure successfully shot and disc in the circles, and then also how to manage, the results in high jump, jump offs and what have you. And then finally, the final slide, there's no video with that. Um, Basically, I've given you my email address. If you have any questions or clarifications, or you just want to say hello, let me know if this format works for you. If it didn't work for you, um, let me know. My old professor told me you don't know what you don't know, and you need to know stuff in order to do stuff. So those words and pearls of wisdom I pass on to you. Have a great, great spring season. Thank you for what you're doing on behalf of the kids. All right? Take care.